In a televised address to the nation, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol on Saturday apologized for causing a public stir by declaring martial law. Yoon said he would not seek to avoid legal and political responsibility for his decision, which he said was born out of desperation. He also promised that there will be no second martial law declaration. Meanwhile, the leader of the ruling party, Han Dong-hoon, said that an early resignation of President Yoon would be unavoidable.
I'm very sorry and would like to sincerely apologize to the people who were shocked regarding the declaration of martial law. I will not avoid any legal or political responsibility.
In a press briefing, South Korea's main opposition leader Lee Jae-myung said on Saturday that he will work hard to end President Yoon Suk-yeol's term early, despite Yoon's apology to the nation.
The greatest risk facing South Korea right now is the very existence of the president. The only solution are the president's immediate resignation or an early exit through impeachment. I will do my utmost to ensure the president's resignation or impeachment.
As per reports, South Korea's parliament will proceed with the revote of the Special Counsel Act regarding First Lady Kim Kyon-hee at 8 a.m. GMT ahead of the impeachment vote, as she is facing several allegations from stock manipulation to accepting a luxury Dior handbag. And our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is joining us now live from New Delhi. Shubhendu, this sets to rest in a sense all the buzz that we've been hearing since yesterday, particularly around a second martial law declaration. The opposition is now pushing, we know, for a vote on a motion to impeach the South Korean president. So what could possibly happen now? Could it be the end of Yoon's reign soon?
Well, the end is, the experts say, most certain, Munmun. Good morning. For the President Yoon Suk-yeol, it is going to be either his own stepping down from the position of the presidentship, or it is going to be an impeachment. Now, there's some technicalities. One, of course, his apology came, but many were surprised that he did not use that opportunity to step down, and it was an apology that many say was not enough for the kind of chaos that he had taken South Korea through. Now, the impeachment would require 2/3 of the vote in the National Assembly. The opposition at the moment has about 190 to 192 seats in the Parliament, in the National Assembly. 2/3 would mean 200 votes out of 300. Now, the kind of opposition that Yoon Suk-yeol now faces in his own party, it is likely that there would be some defections from his own party, People's Power Party, and likely the impeachment will go through smoothly if that happens. Now, that is not where the impeachment process ends. Once it is cleared by the National Assembly, it goes to the Constitutional Court. Now, there's a bit of a technicality there. There are 9 justices in the Constitutional Court, out of which only 6 are in attendance. 3 positions are vacant. And these positions are also filled with the approval, it's ironical, with the approval of the president. But here the president himself is in trial. So that makes it a bit technical. Will the 6 judges be enough to proceed with the impeachment process? What has become clear is that Yoon Suk-yeol is unlikely to announce his own stepping down, his own resignation, given that he has missed opportunities to do that in the recent past. And even in the address that just came in, the indication that he is giving is that he would still like to carry out and fix the problems that perhaps he has created. So in that sense, the removal of Yoon Suk-yeol seems most certain, but it is to be seen what is the path that is going to be followed in the days ahead.
So you're saying it looks certain that he might go, but there is a technicality ahead. Remains to be seen how that is really tackled. But if Yoon were to go, what shape could the government take?
Well, it is not the first time that South Korean president is going to be impeached. 8 years ago, the first woman president of Korea, Park Geun-hye, also facing financial economic corruption charges, had to step down. Now, again, the process that comes into being is that the Prime Minister then becomes the interim president. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo would then take charge as the interim president of South Korea. Elections would be announced in a few weeks' time. That would be announced. The new elections, the new leadership would be elected in South Korea. Now, the leader who's speaking most passionately against Yoon Suk-yeol, the opposition leader, Lee Jae-myung, is running as a favorite to be the next president of South Korea. But it is going to be a challenging assignment. There are divisions in South Korean politics. We saw when Yoon Suk-yeol became the president in 2022, it was a very thin margin of 1% vote that got him the highest office in the country. So in those political divisions that are there, the challenges that are coming up, the Korean Peninsula, remember, is one of the most militarized zones in the world. There is the constant threat and challenge from the north as well. So under those circumstances, politically, a challenging time for South Korea.
Indeed, Shubhendu. Also, it's quite interesting how a Dior handbag has caused one of South Korea's biggest political scandals. Tell us more about it.
That's right. When the story of Yoon Suk-yeol will be narrated as when he sort of steps down and his fall is analyzed, the story of Dior handbag scandal is going to feature prominently. And interestingly, it does not directly concern him. It concerns his wife, the First Lady. Now, what had happened was in 2022, Dior, an expensive, we know it's a luxury brand worth about upwards of $2,000 handbag was gifted to her by a pastor. Now, as is the case in public offices in South Korea too, it's an unwritten rule that expensive gifts are not to be accepted by the president or his family. I mean, it was seen as a gift for favor, as a bribe. There was an investigation launched in 2023. Although it did not yield much in terms of whether there was indeed a favor done for the pastor in exchange of that expensive bag, but it did dent significantly his public image of the president, Yoon Suk-yeol, that the charges of corruption against the First Lady. In fact, that was not the only corruption charge that she faces. And that also led to his downfall in the public eye. His approval ratings have been crashing since the beginning of the year. They were about 19% till yesterday. The approval rating were now just above double digits. Also, his losing of the parliamentary elections in April this year was a testimony to the manner in which he was losing public confidence in his own rule, and that was also seen now as by many of the critics his motivation to declare martial law in the first place, because nothing seems to be going in his way. He couldn't pass through his legislation. He was threatened by impeachment. Many of his cabinet colleagues were impeached. So in that sense, there has been a gradual downfall for Yoon Suk-yeol. Also dramatic because in 2017, he was the public prosecutor for South Korea. He made a name for himself by challenging and prosecuting elite, difficult to reach political elites, economic elites of South Korea who were facing corruption charges. He was seen as someone who was rising from the grassroots to fight against corruption, and now faces political and economic corruption charges himself. So a dramatic fall for the South Korean leader.
Interesting turn of events there. Shubhendu Ghosh reporting from New Delhi.